We're going to be joined by the WA Deputy Police Commissioner now, Cleo Blanch, as we return to our top story on what feels, I'm sure, like a miraculous moment for those waking up in WA and around the rest of the country. Cleo Smith found alive and well. Deputy Commissioner, thanks for your time. First of all, we've heard briefly today, Cleo alive and well. What else can you tell us about her and the reunion with her family?
Thank you. Look, we've spent 18 days with 100 detectives working around the clock, collecting information to hopefully lead to what's happened this morning. At around 12:46 early this morning, acting on basically 18 days of information that we'd pieced together, what I would call a needle in a haystack, police made the decision to enter a house in Carnarvon where we found Cleo in one of the rooms. With the officer, captured on body-worn video, asks her, "What's your name?" picks her up, gives her a hug, and she says, looks at the camera, and a little voice says, "My name is Cleo." I think it was a moment, certainly in our law enforcement history, that will never be forgotten, not only for us but the community.
I think that's absolutely true. It's impossible to imagine the relief for everybody, and I'm sure as much as the optimism was kept up throughout it, that a lot of people were fearing the worst. The man that is in custody, what can you tell us? Is he cooperating? Have you found out any more information about what's happened over the past 18 days?
So I'm not going to comment on the man that is assisting with our inquiries at the moment. And the reason for that is, this is a new investigation starting since we've found Cleo. We have to dot our I's, cross our T's, follow the correct process. If we are going to hold someone accountable for what's happened to Cleo, we've got to make sure we do it right and put the right information before the court. Unfortunately, officers are very tired, been working 18 hours every day, 18 days. We've got a long road ahead of us on this investigation now to make sure that we hold someone accountable for what's happened.
Right, and that arrest, what we did find out was that that man was arrested nearby the house where Cleo was found. So that man, from what we heard from neighbours, was a resident of the house Cleo was found at?
Well, look, we're saying Cleo was alone in the house at the time. We are speaking to a man who was assisting with their inquiries. More information will certainly become available throughout the day. Okay.
We have the other line we got was that a needle in a haystack was what led to this arrest, and also that forensic policing was crucial. Was it something that was found, some sort of item that was found that led to this 1 a.m? The timing of that, obviously, we're assuming something was found, and you wouldn't pause. You'd be going straight in as soon as you got information as to go to this house and find Cleo.
WA Police had a very clear strategy from day one. That was to collect everything. We've collected phone data, rubbish on the highways, CCTV cameras, fingerprints, DNA, you name it, we've collected it, in the hope that if we're able to put this jigsaw puzzle together, even some small pieces, which is where we were last night, some things started to fall into place. It was a mixture of information, and our detectives, the task force led by Detective Superintendent Rod Wild, acted on that information, and that led to finding Cleo, which was the ultimate aim. In our hearts, we hoped this was going to be the outcome. We were always worried that the worst would happen, but we maintained our focus, and I know the team have been motivated by Cleo's picture from day one.
The other thing we have heard today from a neighbour was that they saw this man buying nappies as a supermarket. That would obviously be something that would get attention straight away of detectives. Well, look,
as I've already said, the community of Carnarvon have been nothing but outstanding during this entire investigation. They have really rallied together because just as much as the police, parents Ellie and Jake, the community wanted to get answers and find Cleo. We were always hopeful. We had it in our heart. We had it on our focus, and absolutely the community have assisted through this entire process.
There must be a lot of parents within the police force, and I know it's a cliche, but it's one for a reason, and when you become a parent you realise that would have been very emotional at this time, and the relief they'd felt as well, the whole police force. I mean, what a moment, I suppose. How did you feel when you got the call, when you found out that they'd found Cleo?
I can tell you from the Commissioner, Chris Dawson, down, including myself, there wasn't a dry eye in the house in the police force. There was a number of long pauses between myself and the Commissioner, a conversation just after 1 a.m. this morning about what had just happened. We had to quickly transition into investigative mode and get on with business, but that time of reflection of the size and the scope of what's just occurred for this country, for law enforcement, for Ellie and Jake and the community at large, it was an emotional time.
Disbelief as well, almost. Did you sort of have to? I can imagine you saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
Well, one thing police do, they check and they double check. And certainly that was going on very dynamically at 1 a.m. this morning. We were making sure everything was right, because the last thing we wanted to do was act on the wrong information. But it turned out to be right, and what a wonderful piece of news that was.
It sure is. Look, I know you're very busy. I'll let you go in a moment. If I could just ask as well, though, the reflections on this, because I know police spoke out and they kept telling the media and to pass that on to the community, you were treating this as an abduction. We live in a world in which anyone can have a view online, and an anonymous one, and some pretty heinous ones as well, including casting suspicions back on the parents. Police said all along that's not what's happened here. Is it something that people, you hope, pause and think next time before just, offering their free advice?
Well, I'm on the record saying internet detectives do not help investigations. People ringing Crime Stoppers and police with information that they see, so the real detectives can do the work and the real intelligence analysts can do the work, is what solves cases. Ellie and Jake have been through hell for 18 days, not only because Cleo disappeared, but some of the comments that were said on social media, and I think that is horribly unfair on them. I'm so glad they've been reunited as a family, and I hope they get the care and support that they're all going to need into the future.
It's a very good point around the care and support they will need beyond this moment. Their family is whole again, as we heard from Cleo's mum. Cleo Blanch, Deputy Police Commissioner, congratulations to you and your team. I'm sure a lot of people are exhausted but relieved, and the nation will thank your service as well. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.